A day in the life of Henry VIII. Wine, wives, and absolute power trips. So you think you're busy? Try being Henry VIII for a day. 6 wives, 1 angry ulcer, and a schedule packed tighter than a doublet after Christmas dinner. Whether he was dancing, divorcing, or executing people before brunch, Henry didn't do anything by halves, unless it was his wife's head. This is a day in the life of Henry VIII, full of gluttony, gossip, and gloriously chaotic decisions. Henry VIII usually woke up around 6 a.m, not because he wanted to, but because the business of absolute monarchy waits for no man, especially a man who insists on 12-course meals and a choir to follow him into the bathroom. He didn't sleep alone. No, not like that. I mean, grooms of the stool, royal attendants, and maybe a queen if she hadn't been executed or exiled that week. His first act of the day? A massive prayer session to remind God he was the defender of the faith, before he invented a new faith to divorce his wife. Casual. Then came a review of the royal ledger. What's the treasury doing? What land can we steal? And who's on today's execution shortlist? Breakfast wasn't some dainty Tudor nibble. No, this man ate like a hungover bear in a turkey farm. Picture it. Roasted meats, yes, for breakfast. Poached eggs, ale, and spiced fruit pies. And all this while musicians played and courtiers flattered him like their necks depended on it, which, spoiler alert, they did. After breakfast he often exercised, and by that I mean hunting deer, his version of mindfulness, jousting with the subtlety of a wrecking ball, or hawking, because nothing says power like throwing a bird at a pheasant. He was once considered athletic and even handsome. Yes, Henry VIII was Tudor hot, like he had calves women wrote poems about hot. After his little post-joust cool-down, Henry got to work, or at least his version of it. Meetings with the Privy Council, ambassadors, spies, bishops he hadn't fired yet. He signed laws, approved taxes, planned wars, and ignored Parliament entirely unless they were clapping for him. But don't get it twisted, most of the day was about court drama. Was Anne Boleyn flirting again? Was Jane Seymour being too quiet? Was someone at court richer than him? Not for long. Lunchtime, another meat explosion. Fish, lamb, venison, everything but vegetables, really. This man had scurvy vibes. In between mouthfuls, Henry might write love letters, in terrible French, pen little poems, mostly about how great he was, all make up songs to be sung back to him by a captive choir. He also loved gossip. Henry was basically a Tudor TMZ subscriber with a crown. He'd ask about foreign queens, rival nobles, and who had the best tapestries. His ego was massive. His insecurities? Even more massive. Afternoons were for entertainment. Masks, dramatic performances where he often starred himself, music, lute solos, sometimes with him singing along, dancing. When younger, he could absolutely cut a rug. And, if he was between wives, oh honey, it was flirting season. He'd lavish attention on new favourites, complain about the last wife, and try on outfits like a royal Regina George. Does this feathered hat say powerful or insecure? Be honest, Thomas. Dinner? Even bigger than lunch. And if there was a diplomatic guest? Add an hour and 5 swans. Henry dined in public sometimes, letting people gawk at him like a royal zoo exhibit. But the real dinner drama happened with the Queen. If it was Catherine of Aragon, silent tension. Anne Boleyn, flirt fight central. Jane Seymour, probably just tears. Anne of Cleves, awkward silence and 2 chairs apart. Catherine Howard, flirty giggles until she got executed. Catherine Parr, gentle nagging about not dying so much. He often gifted his wives jewels, land, or absolute terror depending on his mood. Bedtime began with, you guessed it, more food. Sometimes a late supper, wine, or spiced desserts. Other times just dramatic sulking. He'd pray, read, write down paranoid thoughts, complain about ulcers, wives, or the French, probably all three. He was surrounded by attendants, doctors, and people pretending he didn't smell like a dying boar, because by his later years he absolutely did. Then he'd retire to bed, maybe with a queen, maybe not, maybe with his dog, maybe just with the ghosts of his bad decisions. And that, my dear Tudorphiles, was just one day in the chaos carnival that was Henry VIII. From dawn till sulk he juggled governance, gluttony, and guilt like the emotionally unstable icon he truly was. So the next time you feel dramatic after brunch, just remember, Henry VIII once split a whole country because a woman said no. This has been Past People. Like, subscribe, and bow before the chaos. See you next time, preferably with your head still attached.